In a world that often praises connectivity, collaboration, and constant social interaction, those who choose to walk alone, by circumstance or deliberate intention, are frequently misunderstood. Solitude is sometimes conflated with loneliness, and the individual who actively cultivates a life of introspection is too often seen as an outlier. Yet the power of self-imposed or naturally occurring solitude can be profound. There exists a small fraction of people, perhaps around 1%, who embrace solitude as a path to deeper understanding, personal growth, and self-realization. These chosen ones, so to speak, do not necessarily see themselves as superior or more enlightened. Rather, they sense an inner calling to explore their inner realms without distraction. This dedication to solitude and introspection can unlock a host of unexpected superpowers, or distinctive abilities and insights, which fundamentally alter how one experiences and moves through life. Heightened Intuition. Among the many gifts that solitude bestows upon its devotees, heightened intuition stands out as one of the most mysterious and valuable. Intuition is that silent inner sense, the gut feeling or the flash of insight, that guides us when logic or external advice fails. For the chosen ones who spend a significant amount of time alone, the volume of intuition seems to turn up, clearer and more consistent than ever. In solitude, distractions are minimized. There is less external noise to drown out the whispers of the intuitive mind. When you spend hours in quiet reflection or in communion with nature, you become more attuned to the subtle cues in your environment and your own body. The internal dialogue slows, and nuances, such as how your energy shifts around certain decisions, become more noticeable. This fine-tuning of perception lays the groundwork for intuition to operate unimpeded by second-guessing or social conformity. Over time, living alone fosters a deeper trust in one's intuitive judgments. Without a constant stream of external opinions, you learn to rely on your own internal compass. This can manifest in everyday decisions, like picking the right place to live or the best path to personal fulfillment, but it can also appear as powerful guidance for bigger life choices. Many solitary individuals recount experiences where they just knew something crucial, whether about a relationship, a career move, or a health matter. When later validated by unfolding circumstances, these intuitive hits reinforce their faith in this inner wisdom. The calm in the chaos. Imagine standing amidst a wild storm. Lightning flashes, thunder booms, and torrential rain pelts the earth. While most scramble for cover, those with the ice head superpower remain eerily serene, as though watching the chaos from a place of deep, unshakable peace. This capacity does not arise from indifference or a lack of emotion. Instead, it is forged in the silent crucible of solitude. Solitude strips away external distractions and forces individuals to confront their internal turbulence. Fears, insecurities, and anxieties float to the surface when there is no one to console or distract them. Over time, through consistent engagement with silence, the mind begins to settle. This settling is akin to letting silt drift to the bottom of a lake. As the silt rests, the water above becomes clear, reflecting light and images with precision. Similarly, the mind in solitude becomes a still mirror, reflecting reality without distortion. The presence of a calm, ice-head individual in a hectic environment can have a ripple effect, bringing reassurance and steadiness to others. This transformation exemplifies the internal alchemy of solitude. The once anxious individual, having learned to quell their own inner storms, becomes a source of solace. Beyond personal gain, this superpower benefits relationships, workplaces, and communities. People gravitate toward those who embody serenity, for they offer a refuge of stability in a world that can feel perpetually on edge. Ultimately, the evolution of the ice-head trait underscores the principle that serenity is not a passive state but an active stance, a cultivation of mental and emotional discipline. Solitude, with its capacity to remove the usual escapes and distractions, is the ideal training ground for forging this calm spirit. The eye of the soul. While solitude sharpens inner vision, it simultaneously heightens the ability to perceive beyond surface appearances. We call this power X-ray vision, though it is more a spiritual or empathic faculty than a literal physical superpower. At its core, X-ray vision denotes the ability to see into the essence of people and situations, discerning truths hidden beneath layers of social masks, facades, or external illusions. For many who dwell in solitude, the noise of the external world fades, and they become keen observers of subtle cues, tonal inflections, micro-expressions, body language changes, or minute emotional shifts. This skill is not about invasive prying but about attunement. It stems from a focused awareness that notices what others typically miss. However, X-ray vision extends beyond just reading subtle signals. The phrase "seeing with the eye of the soul" suggests a perception fueled by compassion. When the solitary mind is less preoccupied with social drama, personal ambition, or external validation, it is more open to empathic resonance. This means compassionate insight. Rather than judging or labeling a person based on fleeting impressions, the seer with X-ray vision understands the deeper motivations, wounds, and aspirations that shape their actions. This fosters empathy instead of criticism. Soul-level connection. The vantage point of solitude cultivates a clear lens to connect with others' inner essence. You see their core values, emotional states, even unspoken dreams and fears. Harmonizing solutions. When conflicts arise, the X-ray vision seer can identify root causes quickly and propose solutions that honor deeper truths, leading to genuine resolution rather than superficial quick fixes. This capacity is akin to scanning the energetic blueprint of a person or situation, interpreting signs that are typically invisible to the hurried eye. Many artists, poets, and mystics describe states of inspired empathy that allow them to see the souls of those around them. The solitary life fosters this capacity by teaching patience, stillness, and open-hearted engagement. In typical social dynamics, people often wear masks of politeness, self-interest, or emotional guardedness. The X-ray vision skill sees beyond these masks into the heart of the matter. Importantly, this deeper seeing does not promote intrusion or manipulation, but rather fosters genuine relationships and deeper understanding. Paradoxically, those who develop this soul-level perception do so not by analyzing others but by diving into their own depths. Solitude forces them to confront their own psychological layers, both radiant and shadowy. Having mapped their inner terrain, they become adept at recognizing similar features in others. They learn that beneath surface tensions, we all share universal hopes, loves, and vulnerabilities. The impetus for this superpower arises from the quiet time spent exploring one's own mind, heart, and spirit. In that journey, illusions are stripped away. Once illusions are stripped away internally, illusions in the external realm become easier to see for what they are. X-ray vision, then, is the blossoming of self-honesty taken to a universal scale, shining a gentle light on everyone's shared humanity. Feeling the sorrows of the world. Solitude is often depicted as a retreat from the emotional turmoil of interpersonal relationships. Yet, paradoxically, certain individuals discover that extended aloneness heightens their empathic sensitivity. We refer to this emerging superpower as the pain sensor, the ability to feel the pains, physical, emotional, and even spiritual, of those around them. On the surface, it seems contradictory that being alone would amplify one's connection to collective suffering. But therein lies the subtlety. In solitude, one's own heart is laid bare, and a deeper bond with humanity is forged. When the mind is uncluttered by incessant noise, when the gaze is turned inward, the heart's capacity for empathy grows. Solitude can evoke powerful introspection about one's own wounds and vulnerabilities. This recognition of personal suffering often translates into a broader sensitivity to the suffering of others. Seers with a highly developed pain sensor find themselves becoming beacons of understanding and emotional support. However, increased empathy is not without challenges. Feeling another's pain can be overwhelming. One might experience emotional overload, confusion, or a sense of losing personal boundaries. The solitary path, while it fosters this empathic capacity, also demands learning to navigate and manage it responsibly. Like a sponge, The empathic individual may absorb the sorrows of everyone they meet. Solitude helps the empathic seer develop protective measures, meditation, grounding techniques, mindful detachment, that allow them to witness pain without being consumed by it. The pain sensor can transform empathic overload into a healing gift. A seer who deeply feels another's pain can provide validation, comfort, and insight that catalyzes real change and healing. In many traditions, shamans, healers, and mystics learn to transmute personal suffering into compassion for the collective. This phenomenon resonates with the solitary path. Having faced and processed one's own pain without distraction, one becomes intimately acquainted with the universal nature of suffering. Thus, empathy grows, enabling the chosen one to shoulder the burdens of others and offer them hope, understanding, and guidance. Time Alchemist, bending the flow of the hours. Time remains one of the most perplexing aspects of human experience. We measure it with clocks and calendars, imagining it flows linearly from past to future. Yet, many who dwell in solitude discover that time is malleable, subjective, and intricately linked with consciousness. These individuals develop a superpower we term time alchemist, a capacity to manipulate their sense of time, expanding it, compressing it, and navigating its flow in a manner that defies standard logic. In solitude, the chosen ones become intimately aware of time's elasticity. Minutes can stretch into what feels like hours during deep contemplation or immersion in creative work. Conversely, hours can pass in a blissful flash when absorbed in passion or curiosity. This flexible perception arises in part from the absence of external pressures and schedules. When freed from clock-dominated routines, the mind can sink into states of flow where time transforms. The time alchemist's gift is not literal time travel, but rather mastery over the subjective experience of time. Imagine being able to extend the space between moments, gleaning deeper insights or accomplishing more tasks in a seemingly narrow window. Alternatively, picture compressing time so that an unpleasant or repetitive chore feels swift and less burdensome. Depth of self-awareness. One of the most profound superpowers that emerges from solitude is a heightened depth of self-awareness. When the chatter of daily life subsides, you become your own companion, mirror, and confessor. The absence of constant social stimulation forces you to confront your thoughts, emotions, and motivations in a way that is both revealing and at times uncomfortable. In solitude, self-awareness unfolds in layers. Initially, there is the realization of one's habitual patterns, thought loops, anxieties, insecurities, that often remain hidden amidst the bustle of social existence. As you dive deeper, you begin to see how these patterns shape daily decisions. Are your choices driven by fear or love? Are you clinging to old narratives about who you are? The solitary life provides an unvarnished mirror that reflects all these questions back at you. Emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is another hallmark superpower developed through a lifestyle steeped in solitude. Navigating life alone means there is no constant shoulder to cry on or perpetual stream of external encouragement. While the support of loved ones is undoubtedly valuable, the chosen ones learn to stand on their own emotional ground. In solitude, one must learn to process emotions internally, to sit with sadness or frustration without the immediate relief of another's comforting words. Over time, this self-reliance cultivates immense resilience. Confronting your own emotions in solitude can be daunting. The distraction of daily social obligations is gone, leaving ample space for insecurities or unresolved traumas to surface. Yet, it's precisely this environment that fosters emotional growth. There is an opportunity, almost an inevitability, to face old pains head-on. By doing so, solitary individuals learn techniques for self-soothing and self-care, whether through mindfulness practices, journaling, art, or immersion in nature. They become intimately familiar with their emotional triggers and develop personalized strategies to navigate them. Embracing the calling. Living in a world fixated on social validation and perpetual noise, these solitary chosen ones demonstrate another way of being. They prove that from silence comes revelation, and from solitude arises a profound sense of connection, to oneself, to others, and to the vast cosmos. For the curious and the courageous, this path remains open, beckoning them to enter their own silent chambers and discover the dormant powers within. In the end, the superpowers described here remind us that loneliness need not be a prison, it can be a temple of transformation. If we heed the call to be among that 1%, we embark on a journey of expansion and service, shaping our personal destiny while contributing to the collective good. The question is not whether such powers exist, but whether we are willing to embrace the solitude from which they spring, and in doing so, embrace our own highest potential.